Greetings and salutations, my fellow gamers. My name is AFarCryAway, and today we are going to be talking about the Killing Floor 2 Descent update. Going to go ahead and apologize about any kind of background fan noises. That's my computer. It is getting really hot again down here in Florida. I apologize. I'll try to cut as much of that out as possible in editing, but I don't really know how well that will do, so sorry in advance. Right, so I just played an entire suicidal match on the Descent map. I didn't really play any Nuked because I've played Nuked before, but oh my god, that was a fun time. I don't think I've had that much fun on Killing Floor 2 in a couple months at least. I think those two things that I had talked about in my last Killing Floor 2 video, being I think it was the new not new maps. What was it? New perks and new guns, I think I said. Those are the two things that I think are really going to keep people, like, coming back. I know new bosses is cool, and new maps are cool, and new characters are cool. I think I said characters. But I think the guns and, like, the perks that are around those guns are really, like, the meat and potatoes of Killing Floor. Because, you know, it's already fun to kill the Zeds, no doubt. But if you add more ways to kill the Zeds, you're just adding more fun, you know? It's just like... there's only so many ways to club seals. I mean, wait, what? That's horrible. Better analogy. That was awful. I am so sorry. Okay. But you get my point, right? There's so many ways you can shoot Zeds, and this video's it's just a wonderful video so far. I'm not editing that out. That was too good. But yeah, I've been playing a lot with the weapons, the Stoner and the twin Spitfire pistols for the Firebug, and my oh my, those things kick ass. I don't know how else to say it. It feels like you're shooting two, like, fireballs out of your hands, but, you know, it's out of a gun instead of your hands, and I mean, that's the only difference. It really does feel like if you were to turn off the gun model that you're just shooting fireballs at the Zeds, and it's just great. I don't think it gets any better than this. Like for the Firebug, I don't see how you can turn up the intensity anymore, because it gives you that gunslinger vibe, like when you're using twin any kind of revolvers, but now they're just catching things on fire. And I really hope these things do not get nerfed or, like, messed with. I think they're perfect as is. Now, I'm not, like, a deep, full-time, you know, Killing Floor player or anything, so I don't know the intricacies of these pistols yet. I don't know whether to tell you that they're good or bad. I just think they're great at the moment, personally, because I just had a lot of fun using them. And I guess it's really just as simple as that for me. Now, I know, like I said, the pro players, the people who spend way too much time on this game, are probably going to nitpick, like, oh, the burn damage doesn't do this to this Zed very well. Hey, okay, if there's bugs with it, I'm sure there will be. You know, it just came out. They're going to fix it. I just really don't want to see these things getting nerfed, because they seemed pretty balanced. I mean, against the trash Zeds, it was doing its job. It was spreading the burn damage all around, and it does really good damage against, like, solo Zeds. Like, if you have a twin-bladed Gorefast, for example, coming at you and you go for headshots with it, it kind of feels like you're using the dual revolvers a little bit in terms of the damage it does, but a little bit more than that due to the extended burn damage. I'd actually probably equate its damage to, like, underneath the 1911s, but more than the 9mm, if that makes any sense, plus the addition of the burn.
System says you are the best team player.
So those things are a blast to use. They are pretty fire, wink wink. But the Stoner is also in the game, and I got to play with it a little bit. I don't know how I feel about it. To be honest with you, it's really cool to use, because not only does it just look awesome, and the reloads are cool, and you just have so much ammo to, like, shoot out at once, but it's a little bit underwhelming, okay? That's my honest impressions at the moment, and like I said, I only got to play like 2 rounds of a match with it, but it just doesn't feel like a super powerhouse kind of weapon. But I suppose that's not what its purpose is. It seems like they want it to be like a trash cleanup thing, because obviously that's what the Commando is good for, and this is just a faster way to do it. The problem is, though, is the damage feels like you're shooting the AR-15, sorry, the varmint rifle, and it's kind of like it doesn't have a punch, and it's okay because it has the firepower, or sorry, the fire rate to back that up. So it does feel like significantly more powerful than that gun, or the starter gun for the commando. But I don't know, it's just, I'm very on the fence about the stoner. If any gun in this update needs a buff, I'd say it does, because it just didn't feel like it could put down things that were an imminent threat to me fast enough. And it just, I don't know, maybe I'm just not good with it. Maybe I need to be going for headshots and doing burst fire. I was going full auto. I was Ramboing the trigger hard in any time I used it. So I'm pretty sure that would be the biggest drawback, is if you're planning on going like full auto crazy man with this gun, maybe this gun isn't like for you. Maybe that's not how it's meant to be used. I was burning through the ammo very, very quickly, to the point where I wouldn't even make it like halfway through the round without burning through all of it. So I think if you're a little bit more disciplined on your trigger finger, and you specifically target like smaller Zeds and lots of like crawler and clock kills, this thing might do the job for you. But if I'm ever going to be playing commando, I'm probably going to stick to the holy trinity of the L85, the SCAR, and the AK. Now onto the map, Descent itself. It is a very interesting map, and I do have a lot of things to say about it. I think it is a pretty map. I mean, the first part you start on, which is the outside part of like a castle, I believe, it looks really good. It's very tiny, and that's another thing I'm going to say a lot. It's very, like, a very tiny starting area, but it does look really nice. Then you, once the round ends, you jump into this hole in the ground, and it takes you to this level of this underground, like, area. Now, one quick thing about, like, the teleport that happens is once you jump down, it's not like a seamless thing. You jump down, and then you hit, like, a teleporter, and then boom, you're, like, in the next floor. So it's not like a smooth transition, but that makes sense, because if it was, it'd probably kill you. So that's, you know, fair enough, whatever. Once you're down, I think it randomly places you in a room. Now, each of the rooms that it places you into, and by the way, I might be wrong about the random placement, it might not be random at all, but I think it is. But each of these rooms has a different layout, and each of these layouts plays very differently than one another, which is great because it doesn't incentivize, you know, kiting the same strategies until maybe you learn each of the areas. There's a lot of moments of confusion, at least initially, with the team. You'll hop down this hole, and you'll not understand, like, where the Zeds will hit you from, and that adds a lot of panic and tension to the newer, like, you know, players of the map, including myself. I felt very uncomfortable because I would be there looking around like, okay, where do we need to, like, position ourselves to best fight them? Because now that the Zeds spawn in pretty randomly based on the AI's, like, director, sometimes they'll fuck you over on this map, like, hardcore. I remember distinctly there was a time where I probably shouldn't have died, but they sent like 4 double-bladed Gorefast down like a narrow corner at me, and there was just no escape. So I will say this map has a lot of like tricks up its sleeve, and it will not hesitate to fuck you, because that's how it goes in Killing Floor 2 on this map. You know, that's just the simple nature of it, and it's a lot of fun. I really did enjoy my time on this map. Some bits can feel a little bit too claustrophobic. It would have been kind of nice if they had opened up a little bit more of the sections that you're in, because the section that we died in, it was just impossible not to get, you know, sirened and bloated and husked while running away from like 2 flesh pounds at the same time. There was no way to avoid it. So there are particular sections of this map where it's not even a skill factor. It feels like you're kind of just trapped, and you have to just rely on sheer firepower to get out. Then again, I'm sure if you have a well-rounded squad of good players, you might not ever have this problem. I think everybody in our game lobby was playing Commando and Firebug, and we had one medic who was level 15, so of course we weren't going to survive on Suicidal through that. But I'm sure you guys can if you have a well-rounded team, everyone's using the right perks, and, you know, distributing everything evenly with the money and all that. I'm sure it's not going to be like a challenging map. It's just going to be a bit tough once you first play it. Once the community gets used to it, it's going to be a cakewalk just like all the other maps for these Hell on Earth players, I'm sure. But just currently, I don't know. Actually, speaking of those Hell on Earth players, I was thinking about this while I was playing the map. You know how they like to find like specific parts of the map and really like camp it hardcore, or at least that used to be the strategy? I think in this map, it was almost like, it feels like it was designed to punish that playstyle. Like, if you're expecting a room and you don't get the room spawn, then you have to completely change your game plan. And I do like that. And I think that's really cool that the trader is on each of the floors that you jump into. So that way, you jump down, see what floor you're on, and go, okay, this is what I need to buy, this is what my team needs to buy, and then this is where we can go. I like that, and I think all the future maps, honestly, we should just get on this game mode. Okay, maybe not all of them, but I mean, the modders definitely have the traditional survival covered, and I think what Tripwire should be adding is more of these types of maps, because I feel like these are the most dynamic and most fun ways to play the game so far, right? And those are my impressions on the Killing Floor 2 Descent update. I really do hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. I will continue to do Killing Floor updates as long as Tripwire keeps pumping them on out and making them awesome. And yeah, till next time everybody, peace out.